Hi folks, in this tutorial I'm gonna show you my version of getting stuff from internet, parsing it and displaying it in the app. We are going to do a simple weather application where you will display your city, the time of the update of the weather, the current temperature and a small text regarding current conditions. So this is the last tutorial in the series for beginners. So after this tutorial you will be upgraded from a beginner to an intermediate. So congratulations if you reached this far. So let's get going. First thing we will do is to get this JSON with the weather conditions. So write in Google Yahoo weather JSON, go to the first result, and here where you see where text some name, just replace it with your city. We'll put Sofia BG. Click test. You should see here a JSON and also an endpoint. And because I want my temperature to be displayed in Celsius and not Fahrenheit, I'm gonna add here and U equals C. And this will make the conversion to the metric system. Now copy paste this endpoint, test it in the browser to see if everything looks good. Yes, we have a JSON. I have a simple JSON plugin. And let's store it somewhere. I'll put it here temporarily because I don't want to go back to this page. Okay, you can close this one. Now to get stuff from internet and also to post, to put, to delete, to make REST requests, I'm gonna use the most common library for doing this, and 95% of developers use it, and it's called Retrofit. It's a very popular library. So type in Google Retrofit GitHub, you will end up in the GitHub page of Retrofit, and here it says how to install it. Let's copy paste the gradle, and you also see for more information see the website. Let's click it, and now please pause the video and read absolutely everything that is on this page. Okay, you finished. Now you notice that here in configuration it requires some converters, and we will have to add the JSON converter too. So let's copy it, and I'm gonna add it to just like this. Okay, now we have our JSON, and we want to first convert it to a Java object. So write in Google JSON to Pojo and go to the first result, and here you can just copy paste the JSON that you have. Let me get it. So I'm gonna copy it, post it here. Now here at the package name, it asks us to where what package it should create this object. I'd like to put mine in data, and I'll create a new class here, model.weather. Now you can compact empty middle packages like this here in Android Studio, in case you want to see them more expanded or not. And I'm gonna copy this package created here. I'm gonna paste it here and name it weather. I'm gonna select JSON. I'm gonna select gson. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna select use primitive types, double numbers, include getter and setters, and let's click preview. Looks good. Now click zip one. It will create a zip file. Click on it to download it, open it, and extract it somewhere, wherever you want. Now go into it. Let's copy paste it in our model and override for all. So we have here our models. We have a smaller, like this annotation doesn't recognize it. So to fix this one, you'll have to add another library, or you can remove it from every file manually, but it's easier just to add this library. Org glassfish JavaX annotation 10.0b28. I'll probably put this code somewhere so you can easily copy paste it, or at least this initialization part. Okay, so now everything looks good. We have our model. Let's go back to the retrofit page. So here we have to create an interface. I'm gonna name it a weather service interface. So I'm gonna uncompact it, and in data I will make another package called remote, and here I will make an interface weather API. I'm gonna put it to interface. Alright, so in this interface let's just copy paste some of this code just to get started a little bit faster. And basically you need something like this. You need an add get, and here you can replace it with post, put, delete, your endpoint, and a call that will return what you want. And here you create this service. So let's make it a little bit more clean. I have this base URL here. I'm gonna create it here, a base URL. I'm gonna import them. I'm gonna change this one to weather API. I'm gonna remove the parameters for now, because we will just get it without parameters. You can add easily parameters if you just read the documentation of Retrofit, and I hope you read it. So considering that this is a list of parameters, I will just paste it here. and at call we don't have a list, we have a simple model called weather, and I'm gonna call it get weather. Inside this base URL I'm gonna put my own base URL, and we have here an interface and here something else which doesn't make sense, so I'm gonna create a class factory, and inside the factory I'm gonna say public static weather API get instance. So I'm gonna create a singleton here. Control Alt L to clean up the code. So what does this factory do? This factory verify if I already have an instance of this class present. If I have it, just return it. If I don't have it, create it. So we are not reusing this API all over again when we make calls. Alright, so now that we have this weather API, let's use it. So I showed you this is our application. Basically now that you listen to me, pause the video and try to recreate what you see here. It doesn't have to look like this, I just chose it to do like this, and I'll show you how to do it in a moment, but try to do it yourself. Okay, so here is how I do it. I create a new project, I drag and drop some edit text here. For example, this one, I gave it text color white, I give it text size 40 ESP, and I made it bold. I don't know if I did some margin or not. I put the background to some blackish one. I dragged another text view here on center. I put this text color to the reference to my color accent, which I defined here in color, so you can use references to your color, so you don't have to type the color every time. And I just added a simple button with refresh here. So very simplistic, it doesn't have other layouts included or nested, everything just drag and drop. In case you don't manage to do it like this, don't worry, this is not the purpose of this lesson. Purpose of this lesson is to work with internet JSON. Okay, so now that I added these controls, I gave each one a unique ID, and I just bind them with butter knife here. And the cool stuff with butter knife, it also gives you access to some other events like on click, and here you have to pass the ID of the button, and here write whatever you want. So you have to define a void function which will handle this on click. I'll call it on click button refresh, but it doesn't matter what you put here unless you call it from other functions, so no. So in here, when we press the refresh button, we want to get it from the internet. So how to do it? We do like this: weather API dot factory dot get instance, get weather, and dot enqueue, and here we have to pass a callback. We can simply do it like this: new control space callback, and it will get automatically filled. And in case of failure, let's log it. Let's log it, and in case it is successful, let's say I want to put the temperature. So I'm gonna set the text of this text view to with response. I'm not sure how it is here. Let me look again at the JSON. So we have a query with results, and inside the results I have an I don't know, I can't see the temperature. Okay, we have an item with condition and temperature. So get query, get results, get channel. I see I only have a get channel. Okay, so inside the results there's a channel. Get item, get condition, get temperature, which is a string. And let's test our application now. Okay, so we have an error. It says unable to create converter for class. This means I forgot to add the converter for the initialization of this retrofit. And do it like right now. It is called add converter factory, and you have to call it after builder. In here you put JSON converter factory.create. Sorry about it. Again, you don't have to remember all this stuff. I will post it somewhere. I don't remember them too, so it's not a big deal. As you see, it's working now. Let's quickly update this text too. So let me get this one. So it looks a little bit more clean. So we have a text view city, get city. I can add a plus country, but I leave it to city now. Get last updated. Last build date, and we have the conditions here, which should be very in the same place with the temperature. Get text, and this should be it. Okay, now let's say we want to call this this one just when we start the application automatically. So can do it very easy on resume. You can just call directly this on click button, refresh. Okay, everything is working perfectly. So if you want to play a little with Retrofit, I highly recommend you to do so. I will put some of the code in the description of the video below. Also, you can check my GitHub page. So it's github.com/AndreiD. Check repositories, and you have here a simple app template that you can use, ultimate app template. Remember to start it, and you can fork it. So it is a very easy template to get started. It is also configured with some nice colors and so on. Okay, so now that you concluded the beginner's tutorial in Android, our next tutorials will be more specific. We will go into making some very small apps, and we will learn more stuff like working with databases and communication between activities, publishing the app, and so on, because there are lots of stuff to be learned.